Hi guys, welcome to this next part. In this part, I will talk about sorting data while fetching it from the database using Mongoose. And I will also be covering limiting fields from the data. So in the previous video, we talked about how to filter the data and we wrote this code and we'll proceed further. Okay, so I will hit enter over here to make the space, and the above code is about filtering the data. So before moving further, you can see that it's actually finding some data, putting it in the notes. So I'm going to make some changes into it. So first of all, I'm going to remove a weight and I'm going to name it query. And after that, I'm going to name this notes equals to await query. It is the same thing, but this way we can actually manipulate the query. We don't need to write this node.find JSON parse query string again and again. We can just use this query object and add an await keyword before this and then return the nodes to it. Okay, so now let's talk about sorting in Mongoose. For sorting, actually Mongoose provide a function called sort, and we need to pass an object to it that with which properties we need to sort it. In the postman, and actually I have added this get request, and this is how we can pass the sort query param to the API. So this is you can see that I have added question mark and then the sort is the keyword, and then the title comma priority. We can add one prop, we can add two prop, we can add as much prop to it. Okay, so it means that the sort the data based upon the title and the priority. Okay, so if I go over here and I can log request dot query dot sort. Okay, so let's try to see what it shows. And if I hit send, and if I come here, you can see that it is showing title comma priority. Okay, and this is what we are passing in the sort keyword from here, right? So now we can check if request.query.sort exists, then we want to perform the sorting, and by default we want to sort our data based upon a particular keyword. So we have this data. Let's say that by default, even if someone don't return this query param with the key sort, even then we would like to sort the data based upon like created at property. Okay, so I will come here and I will update this query with the query dot sort, and inside it I can pass any keyword, any property of this node object. So currently I will be using the created at property. So here, right? And by default, it will sort it with the sort property with the created at attribute. And then what we are going to do is we actually need to, so the sort function require one property or a multiple property with the space in between, but we cannot add space while sending the query param from here. We could add the comma over here. Okay, so we first need to replace this comma with the space. So now I can append this query dot sort and then request dot query dot sort dot split, and split it with the comma and then join it again with the space, right? And we are done. Let's go and wait for DB connection to be successful. I'm going to remove, so I'm going to remove this log. So I'll hit send So there is an error if I go back, and this is the constant variable actually, and I'm trying to make some changes out here. So I'll be changing its type, so we should be able to make some changes in this particular query variable, okay, and there should not be any further error in this, okay. So rest of it seems fine, and I'm passing title and priority. So let's send, and it's actually sorting the data. You can see that it's actually sorting based upon the title as well as the priority, okay. So it's first sorting with the title, so css express, so it's taking out the ASCII codes of all these alphabets, and based upon the ASCII codes it's actually sorting the data. So you might not be understanding what it's about, so I'll be only be passing the priority because priority is an integer. So let me show you how it works now. So if I send with the priority, you can see that now the priority is 1 1 2 3 and 7, okay. So our sorting logic is working fine. So now I have not passed any query param in my route, and it has now sorted based upon the created at, okay. And it's in ascending order. If I want to make it descending order, then I just have to add minus sign before any property, and I can add this minus sign on the postman as well while adding the sort property, okay. And if I add minus priority and if I send, you will see that it is now in reverse order, the 7 3 2 1 and 1, okay. So now it's sorted and our logic is already there. We have the default sorting logic with the minus created at property, and we have this sort conditional if someone passes from the client side any query param to sort the data of the nodes. Now let's talk about how we can limit the fields. Let's say that there are currently 1 2 3 7 fields in each object of the nodes. What if we want to only return the title, description, and the priority, or just the title, just the updated ad from our database, rather than actually fetching the complete data from the database and then manipulate the data using loops and other logics is quite time taking, and we want to have some efficient way to do it. So first of all, I'm going to limit the fields, and I'm going to check if the request.query.fields exists. Then again, I'm going to apply this logic, and then this logic should be not sort currently. I want to add this to fields currently, and fields is going to split and then join it. And I'm going to store it in a new variable fields. And after this, I can update the query. So select is a function that actually figures out that which properties from a particular object should be returned to the client side from the database. And now I need to convert this fields into string. So I can write fields dot to string. Okay. And let's save it. And I've already built this new request, and I have sent this fields property, and I'm passing title, description, and the priority currently. If I send, so I hope that I have saved this file. Yes. And now you can see that it has only returned title, description, and the priority for all the objects of the database with these two lines only. Okay, so just like the sorting, I want to add some default uh, property over here. So by default, what we want to return, so we don't want to set the default property, but I want to exclude one property. So select And in order to exclude, I need to add minus sign, just like I did with the sorting function. So the minus and then underscore underscore v, which is by default added by our mongoose. And you can see that this, if I go over here, this was the property, and I don't find this property beneficial for my client side UI, so that's why I'm removing it. So if I don't send anything from here, then it will remove. Let's try to remove from here, and if I hit notes, it has actually sorted based upon created add, as well as it has removed the underscore underscore v property as well. Okay, so this is working, this is working, and our sorting and limiting fields is done for this video. In the next video I will talk about pagination. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.